2 years ago, I was broke in my college dorm room, absolutely hating my life while watching, content creators constantly flashing and flexing their Lamborghinis on, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. And as of last month, I made $23,000 by partnering up with these content creators and helping them sell more of their programs. Overall, I have personally made $100,000 to $150,000 with this business in the past year, as well as my business partner. We have a 50-50 split on everything. So pretty much whatever I say I make, pretty much double everything, and that's pretty much what he made as well. So technically, if we made 100 into 150,000 for my personal self, together we've made $200,000 to $300,000 with this business. And I'm not saying this to brag or anything like that. I'm really just trying to show you what's truly possible, because when I was in college, I would always see it, but I would never believe it because it's just so hard to believe and comprehend at the start. You have to really get over that limiting belief to actually see what's truly possible. And that's what this video is for today. I really want to show you exactly how you can get your first client so that you could eventually change your life. And that's genuinely all it takes. All it takes is one client to actually change your life. And that's what happened to me. But before we get into how to actually get your first client, I kind of want to talk about other online business models, because I'm sure you've seen a bunch of them, heard a bunch, maybe even tried a couple, something like, drop shipping, e-com, trading, something like that. And the problem with those business models is there's a bunch of things, especially when you're brand new to business and you don't have a lot of money, kind of like me in college, you're working a regular 9 to 5, you just don't have that much capital. And with drop shipping, e-com, you need a bunch of inventory, or even trading. You have to put a bunch of money into trades to actually get it started, and you're constantly losing money, gaining money. With my business model, you need no money to start. And with those business models, you're dealing with so many other issues like inventory, customer service, you're dealing with different manufacturers, you can get scammed, this can happen. There's so many things that can go wrong in that business that can completely screw you over. And I've heard many of stories from friends in that space where even if it worked for them in the beginning, it was complete shit. And even if you've tried other business models like a certain agency or SMMA, something like that, you're still trading time for money, and that's not what you want to do. The whole goal of starting a business is so that you don't have to work as much, and that's exactly what I've been able to accomplish, where I'm only working an hour or two a day, and that's always what I wanted. With SMMA, freelance brand scaling, or whatever the hell you want to call it, or any of those other business models where you get paid on small retainers and you have to do so much work, that's just not what you want. Because like I said, the whole goal is so that you can eventually be able to just live your life while having a lot of money to do whatever you want with. And now in terms of the industry that I'm pretty much in, I'm sure you've heard of growth operating or selling your own course. But let me tell you why those aren't really doable right now. First off, selling your own course. If you are very similar to me, you have nothing really to sell that's actually valuable of making money. You need to partner up with someone to get tapped into the courses. Because the last thing you want to do is, be known as an online course scammer. That's by far the worst thing you can do. And that's what a lot of people do. And even if they might be making money now, it will eventually catch up to them, and you don't want that to even happen to you. Now, when it goes for growth operating, that's the business model that was super trendy in the past couple years, where basically you partner up with a creator who just has a big audience. It's very similar to what I do, but not the same at all. You would partner up with different creators, whether on TikTok, Instagram, and you'd set up a community for them, and you charge $100, $100 a month, $200 a month, $20 a month for people to join their community. You get a good amount of people in there. You're making $10,000 a month if you split it 50-50. But the realization of that business model is that was complete bullshit, because I literally did it. I did it for 6 months straight, would partner up with a bunch of creators. And here's the thing, these creators are broke. The growth operating creators are so broke. Like, they have no money, they've never sold anything. And I know you've heard the saying, it takes money to make money. If they have no money to spend, you're just not going to make any money. And not only are they like bad creators to like partner up with, they also have like nothing to sell. And even if they did, people are going to churn after 1 month. They might buy your program once for like $100 a month, but then they'll be completely out of it the next month. And it's just not a maintainable business model, because you're partnering up with bad people who have nothing to sell, and you're just selling basically shit that no one wants. And even if they do, they'll leave after a month. And that's exactly what happened to me, where I was like, why am I partnering up with these broke content creators who aren't selling anything of value? when I could partner up with someone who already has an established business, which has been working, where they're already making money from selling their program, whether it's a course, program, mentorship, whatever you want to call it, it's already working. But here's the thing. When you see these content creators, their systems aren't dialed in at all. Like, they're good enough where they can make money, and that's the thing. You want to find content creators who are already making money from what they're selling. And if you could find someone who has bad systems, who are making a lot of money, you literally hit the jackpot, and that jackpot will genuinely change your life. The exact content creator that you ideally would want to partner up with are already making anywhere from like 5K a month to 50K a month. That's kind of the sweet spot, even especially if you're a beginner. You don't want to, get to the bigger people. That's later on. If you're established, you're making a lot of money with the business, you could eventually target the bigger guys. But target the people who are making $5,000 to $50,000 per month. Because here's the thing, there's people there, there's customers there, there's a lot of money to be made there. It's just that these content creators are leaving massive money on the table because their back end is shit. Like, they know how to make content and they know how to get people really good results. But the thing is, they don't know how to operate the back end of a business. And that's just the truth. And that's why they leave so much money on the table. And that's why that's where we come in and solve their issue. And that's the thing. It's not like growth operating where you partner up with them, 50-50 when they already built the audience themselves and they do all the fulfillment. It doesn't make sense realistically because they're doing 2/3 of the business. And 2/3 of the business is 66%. And 1/3, which is what you're doing, is the marketing and sales portion of everything. That's 33%. Pretty much rounded up, you'll get about 35%, sometimes even 25%. You're roughly around 25 to 35%, but you're already in a business that's working and you're making 25 to 35% of what's already working, and you're taking already what they make and just taking it up a notch. And that's what I call go scaling. Now, go scaling is very simple to understand, and I'll kind of just re-explain everything so that you can fully understand just what I do. But it's basically where you find these content creators who are selling coaching programs, mentorships, courses, all of that. And you partner up with these guys. And I call it go scaling because you're behind the scenes where no one knows who you are in their audience. And you're scaling them up of already what is existing. And the best thing about it is these content creators already have proven audiences and proven offers that already work. They just need people who know what they're doing to come into their back end and completely fix everything so that they're not missing out on any more revenue, and they have someone who can genuinely help them scale up. They're always looking for a partner because doing everything on your own, especially when running a business, is just impossible. Like, even me, I have a lot of stuff hired out now where I have sales reps, I have a content team, I have all this stuff because I just genuinely can't handle it all myself. And even if I did, it's just not going to be the best results. That's why they need you to come in there and help them scale up. But like I said before, they're making anywhere from like 5 to 50K a month, around that range. And they basically really need someone to help them scale up from anywhere from like, if they're at 5K to like 20K, you want to get them to 50K, 80K, even like 100K, and then even a couple 100K a month. That's the whole goal of everything, is just to keep scaling them up from there. And there is endless opportunity. I've seen people go from nothing to their first client. They've made, a couple 100K. It's genuinely shocking. I generated one of my clients 90K. It's crazy what is truly possible. And when you're beginning, these numbers don't sound real, but they genuinely are. And there's a lot of money in this industry. There's hundreds of billions of dollars literally being processed in this industry every single year. But like I said before, they're very good at making content. They're very good at getting people results, the first thing in the process and the third thing in the process, but they need help in the middleman of actually marketing and selling it. And that's exactly where you come in, and you do a bunch of things, such as helping them refine their offer so that it's more valuable. A lot of these creators are charging very little and giving a lot. When you could, instead of charging, a K for very one-on-one access to people, you could charge them 5K for barely any one-on-one access. There's many of different ways of doing it to help these guys where they can not spend as much time and make them more money. And that's the whole goal of everything. These guys don't want to hop on sales calls. They don't want to do any of that. And aside from the offer, you'll help them make a video sales letter. You'll help them make their landing page, which is basically a website. You've probably seen it before if you've seen this other stuff like e-com, all this other stuff. If you look up anyone selling a course, anyone selling a program, they have that whole website with that video sales letter. You call that a VSL. And that's where you basically come in and script script that VSL for them. You also build that website. You also build all their email marketing sequences all throughout. You'll help them build their sales process. And you'll also take their sales calls for them to the point where you'll eventually be able to hire out and manage the sales team for them. I know all of this sounds like a lot right now, but it really isn't with the age we live in where there's AI, because AI does all of my work. Like it damn near does 80 to 90% of all of my work, when the biggest things that genuinely you need to do, like where you're constantly present, is sales. All the marketing stuff can do with AI, from writing copy, doing all that stuff, scripting, VSLs, emails, all of this stuff. But when it comes to sales, you need people, setting the calls, closing the calls, which you will do, but that's the only thing you really need to control is sales once you really start to understand how marketing works and how you can implement AI into it. And that's exactly what I'll help you do. But all it comes down to is landing one client who can change your life. And one number I always looked at and what most people look at is 10K a month. And here's like the actual math that goes behind this to show you what's truly possible. If you find a content creator who's only making like a couple K a month, 5K a month, 10K a month, whatever it is, if you partner up with these guys and you get them to 30K a month and you're on 35% rev share, if you do the math, that's $10,500 a month, which equates to $126,000 per year. And that's only from one client. Imagine if you got multiple clients. And that's only rev share. Once you have more experience in the game, you could charge setup fees. And setup fees are anywhere from 3 to 15K. You could charge anything you really want up front, but you don't want to do it when you start because you really just want to get clients and you shouldn't really be worried about the money right away. The biggest thing is just like skill set so that you can just really grind your way through rev share to make money so that eventually later on you can eventually get that big setup fee. And here's the best part. Once you set everything up, the system pretty much runs on autopilot. People are just seeing your content creators' content, watching it, wherever they come from, IG, TikTok, YouTube. They watch their videos, they go through the funnel and everything's set up and you have the whole process dialed in. All you have to really worry about is like taking the calls or managing the team. I'm at the point where I don't even have to take calls anymore and I genuinely am making $10,000 to $20,000 a month, which, the last 2 months I've hit back-to-back 20K months. I'm scaling from there. But that's the thing, I only work 1 to 2 hours a day. Like all my friends like always fuck with me and they're always like, oh, you're the most unemployed I know. And it's genuinely true. I'm always doing like random shit and I'm not really working as much because I don't have to, because I have the clients, I have the system set up, and it genuinely runs on autopilot. All I have to do is just manage teams and keep tweaking little things. And that's why this is by far the best opportunity to make money online in 2026, because there are so many creators, millions of creators, hundreds of billions of dollars in this industry alone. And the opportunity isn't from building something by yourself from scratch. It's partnering up with something that's already working and plugging yourself in there to make them and yourself way more money. And that's the thing. All these content creators are making millions doing it. And that's the thing. Newsflash, all these content creators you see posting about trading, all these other business opportunities, are making more money from their course and their program than actually what they do, whether it's trading, dropshipping, it doesn't matter. But the thing that does matter is that they're making money with selling courses and programs. So instead of complaining about it like I used to and a lot of people do, just partner up with them and help them make more so that you can make a shit ton of money on top of that instead of being left out. You literally need no money and just the ability to know how to come into these businesses and scale them up. And here's exactly how you can get started by landing your very first client. First off, you will need your 2 ways of outreaching to these clients, which is email marketing as well as DMs and IG. You can also do TikTok, LinkedIn. You could do a whole bunch of them, but my 2 main ways are Instagram as well as email. And that doesn't mean only do those platforms. If you can figure out different ways of reaching out to these people, do it. I've heard the craziest stories, sending $1 to a guy on Venmo and pitching him through there and landing him, or buying the guy's program and pitching him from there. There's many of different ways you could do it, but these are the 2 main ways you need to start with. So the first thing you'll need is a Gmail account as well as an IG profile. Like I said, on the IG profile, you need professional pictures on there. You don't need a bunch of them. When I started, I only had one, and you just want your bio to have what you do, and in your highlights, if you have any results, throw them in there, anything you've worked with, any people you've worked with, and make sure to have a good profile picture. An even better thing would be getting the blue check mark. It's like 15 bucks a month. You don't need it, but here's the thing. If you have that blue check mark, you pop up higher in their message requests, which has a big leg up on everyone. When I get pitched from so many people now for different business opportunities, and I always open those messages because they have the blue check mark. So it definitely gives you an advantage. The next thing you will need are these two softwares, which is basically Loom as well as SimilarTube. SimilarTube is where you can go on anyone's YouTube account and scrape their email, and you could put all those emails into a database. You can also automate that whole process with Cloud AI and a bunch of other AI softwares, which we can get to on later videos. But once you get those emails, Loom is completely different from SimilarTube. Loom is where you will be recording a presentation. It's not a long presentation. It's basically like a pitch video. So it's basically you explain who you are, maybe who you've worked with. You don't need experience at all. I mean, like, you can see how I got to where I am now. Like, I had no experience when I started. I just provided a bunch of value up front and showed them what I could do. But in those videos, you basically say who you are, you go through their current process, show them what's wrong, what they're missing out on, how they're missing tens of thousands of dollars every single month. You show them the solution, and then you pretty much call to action to book a call. So right after that presentation, you want to book a call. And one thing I really want you to understand is you want them to move them through each step of the process. When you reach out to them, first, you want them to read your message. Make the message completely different from everyone else, because that's the problem. That's why most people fail, is they don't differentiate. And that's why I have been able to succeed, is because I am completely different in my outreach messages, which I'll get to. But once you have them open that message, you want them to read that message and want to open up the video. When they open up that video, you want that video to convince them and sell them to hop on a call with you. When you hop on a call with them, you close their ass and partner up with them so that eventually you will genuinely change your life by partnering up with the right creator. And the last thing you'll need aside from outreach accounts is a payment processor. One that I recommend to start out when you start is Stripe. Basically, just make an account, you have to put all your information in, and they'll rate you at 3%. So whatever you bring in, they will just take 3% commissions of everything you make, which is good to start out, but eventually I transitioned out of Stripe to a different payment processor for other various reasons, which I can explain later on. But it's definitely a good place to start, but it doesn't matter if you want to use Stripe, Fanbasis, or if you have a business bank account and take payments through there. It genuinely does not matter. You just need somewhere to send the payments when you partner up with these clients. Now you're probably wondering, what do I say in my outreach message when I reach out to clients? There's no secret message to getting a client. The way I did it was testing out so much different shit. I sent over 5,000 DMs and emails to figure out what people like, what don't they like, what works. And the message that has worked for me is what I will say right now. I have my phone pulled up to show you exactly word for word what it is. But basically, it's very straight up. You pretty much, I'm reading off it right now, so I'll read it word for word. But it's like, what's up, whoever the content creator's name is. So it's like, what's up, John? I love your XYZ video. It's funny. You want to call something out in their content and just make a joke about it or say something this, I love this video. Just do that. It genuinely works. Give them a compliment. And then you want to go into, but also I noticed you didn't have a VSL or any backend systems, so I made you some. That's one thing you really want to do when reaching out, is you want to lead with value. And I'll teach more about it, but you give AI work. AI does all the work. Like, you genuinely can type something up in 5 minutes with all the prompts I'll give you later on, which makes this process a whole lot easier, because if you had to do it from scratch, it would completely suck. But if you did it this way, where you give them a bunch of work, bunch of value up front, no one else is doing that, and you personalize the whole Loom video and message, and that differentiates you from so many different people you do not understand, because most people who send outreach messages are genuinely stupid as shit. But then you want to go into, if you have results, I scaled at whoever the content creator is to 50K a month, and I scaled XYZ to 37K a month. I made a video breakdown for implementing my VSL call funnel into your system. Check it out and let me know what you think. Very straight up. It's nothing crazy. You don't need, testimonials if you don't have any. I literally started with none. But if you do have them, or any sort of things you could tie into it, it definitely helps. And once they open up that DM or email, they will then proceed to watch your Loom video, where pretty much how I went over, you just give them a quick intro, any results you have, quick problem. What's their biggest problem in their business? All the different things you've noticed, call them all out, give them the solution, what you have given for them, you made for them with the free AI work, as well as just showing them what you could do for them to make them more money, and then to a CTA where you pretty much pitch them to book and hop on a call. But before you start reaching out to these creators, you want to actually know that if you were to partner up with them, they will make you money. Because I partnered up with a bunch of people who I thought would make me money. I thought at the time were good, ICP prospects, but they were not at all because they just didn't have good offers. And good offers are in these three niches, which is make money. That's the number one. That's the only thing I work with now. I would take other ones as well in the other two industries. So make money, dating, and fitness. And the reason why those are the three best niches is because they're all emotional. No one's gonna buy from you if you're selling MMA or pickleball or some other dumbass shit because they genuinely just don't care. The three things they do care about is if they're broke, they get no pussy, or they're fat. And it's true, because think about it. If you're broke, those are the three main things where people are constantly paranoid or they care about what other people think about them. And that will make them buy. And once you make a list with all the tools and send the messages I've pretty much went over in the video, if we break it down into a number standpoint, if you send 100 value-packed, exactly what I said word for word, where you send a good message, personalized Loom outreaches, you will get at least 10 responses. 90 of them might not even see it. You will get 10 responses, and a couple of them might tell you to fuck off, which has happened a lot to me. But you'll definitely get about maybe 3 booked calls, and from that 3 booked calls, you can definitely land 1 client. But here's the thing. What I just said doesn't mean shit, because I'm sure you've heard it over and over again. Even I got led into that numbers game where it's if you send this much, you're gonna get guaranteed a client, but it's just genuinely not true. And I'm not here to lie to you. I'm here to be completely honest and completely, against what you see online, because I literally work with the gurus themselves. But one thing I could tell you is the difference between people who succeed and don't succeed put up so much volume where it's genuinely impossible to fucking fail. And that's exactly what I've done. I've gone to this place not by being lazy, send 100 outreach messages, get 1 client and make you 10K a month. Anyone says that to you, they're fucking lying, and that's bullshit. It genuinely took, I've sent thousands of outreach messages. I mean, to this point, I've sent over 5,000. But that's the thing. The guys who try different business models, you send 50 outreach messages. You don't get a client, so you throw a little bitch fit and then give up. If that's you, just click off the video, because it's genuinely just not going to work for you. And that's the complete difference between the guy who gets a client and the one who doesn't. The guy who sticks with something for a long period of time, I can tell you, if you stick with it for months on end and put up so much volume per day where it's impossible to fail, you won't fail. You will genuinely get that client, and that client will change your life. And the thing with it is, most people send outreach messages like other people teach as well, but it's very generic and shit. I constantly get pitched. My content creators who I work with get pitched all the time from the people of what I do, but the messages are so bad. And it's over and over. I've seen thousands of outreach messages, and it's all the same generic copy and paste things. But if you can genuinely personalize the Loom video where you show exactly what's going wrong in their business and you give them an exact solution for it, you make AI work to show you exactly what you could do for them and book a call, that's completely different. And you just differentiated yourself from 99% of the competition who was too fucking lazy to do the work themselves. And that's exactly how I got all my clients. I personalized every fucking video, and that's what paid off in the long run. No one's willing to do that for an extended period of time. That's why only a small bit of people actually succeed. Now, let me show you the numbers that this actually works, because all these people say they made this, they made that, but they don't actually show any fucking screenshots. So I'll be completely honest. My first $10,000 month was in November of 2025, and I have been making anywhere from 10 to 15K per month till where I am now. In the last 2 months, I've hit back-to-back 20K months, which last month I'd made $23,000. And I'll post all the screenshots in this video. And before all my 10K months, it wasn't like I was making nothing. Like, I was making anywhere from 2 to 5K per month from January to where I made my first 10K month in November. I was making $2,000 to $5,000 every single month in that time. And that's genuinely life-changing money. Like for a lot of people, like imagine what an extra $2,000 to $5,000 per month can do for you, because that's what you're pretty much making from a regular job. But the thing is, you're genuinely just not working as much. In that time where I was making 2 to 5K a month, I'm not gonna lie, I was working a lot. I was putting in so many hours to perfect just outreach. And that was the biggest thing, because I was waiting for my dream client and the one that will change my life. And I eventually found him. But I found him in August, and we built all the stuff when we launched. And I made him $60,000 his very first month I worked with him. And that's the thing that changed my life, because here's the thing. Once you get one creator really good success, all the content creators who sell courses, they all know each other. So the one client I made $60,000 for, he put me on to all of his boys. And I damn near built my agency off of that. I still outreach to people and get clients that way as well. It's not only from him. And that's the thing. One client will actually change your life. And here's a couple people who I actually work with who you can look up. You can go through the funnels. You can see all this shit. And here are the clients I actually work with. And I'm genuinely going to show you who I work with in real time. You can go to their page. You can see how their content is, how their funnel is, how the process is, because it's all mine. First up being is Aram Gazarian. He pretty much teaches fix and flip houses, and he has a program around that. I also work with Abdullah Ghaffar, who teaches wholesaling. I also work with Rakeem Campbell, who teaches real estate development. I also work with Omar Rashid, who teaches realtors how to scale up through social media. And I have a couple other smaller clients. But that's the thing. All of these guys you can look up. They're making a shit ton of money with actually what they do. And they also make a shit ton of money from their program. But that's the thing. You actually want to work with people who actually have money, who are like, all my clients are literal millionaires compared to people who are broke TikTokers with the growth operating model who set up $100 a month communities and no one wants to buy them. You can actually sell high ticket products because these people have so much experience and they make a shit ton of money. Here's the thing I've learned being around rich people. If you're constantly around rich people, you will become rich. It's all about who your circle is. And I'm sure you've heard that quote millions of times. It's who you hang out with. If your boy's an alcoholic, you're gonna be an alcoholic. If your boy's a millionaire, you're gonna be a millionaire. And that's genuinely true. And that's how I've gotten to where I am. But here's what's next. You've heard me talk about all the stuff with the business model. You've seen my clients, you've seen how it works. But I didn't go really in depth because I wanted to make something more special for you guys, which basically I'm going to make an entire Discord server. I'm pretty much gonna link it down in the description, but it's completely free too. I'm not charging anything. I could genuinely charge thousands of dollars for it, but I'm not going to, because I wanna give people a bunch of value up front, because when I was in college, I had no one I can go to who would actually like do it for free. And here's the thing, I'm not gonna do this free forever, if I'm gonna be completely honest. Like, now is the time to get into this community, because eventually I will charge for it, because I have personally spent $20,000 to $30,000 on courses, programs, mentorships, learning all the stuff I will teach you in there. And in this community, I will be dropping a whole bunch of value where I will be giving away exact documents, more in depth, how to do outreach, how to set up funnels, how to build offers, how to do the email marketing, literally everything from A to Z. I don't want to have to go in depth. You've already heard everything that you do on the back end. I will go more in depth in there. I'll make videos, I'll post them in there. And not only will you have videos, documents, all the shit you pretty much need to get started, but you'll also have a full community of a bunch of people who've watched this video, who've seen my content, who just want to make money online. And you get to talk to these guys, see what they're doing right, see what they're doing wrong. And I'll be in the community too. We'll constantly be talking. I'll kind of, be leading the way. Any questions you guys got, literally just reach out to me. That's another thing. You'll have access to me in the Discord to ask me any questions you want, and I'll respond as best as I can, because obviously I'm busy with what I do. And eventually I want to host at least like one group call a week when there's like above 50 people in there, so that like I don't want to waste my time if there's like barely anyone. But if there's above 50 people in there, I will be doing a call a week completely free, as well as like the whole free Discord. Like, it's all free. And like I said, it's not going to last forever. Eventually I will charge. So if you want to get in, you like what I'm saying with this business and all the stuff I'm pretty much saying, the best time to do it is now, when I'm not charging anything and before a shit ton of people see this video and actually want to do it. Because what I'm teaching is the real shit. And I'm not even joking. A lot of people are going to see what this is capable of, what this business is capable of, and they're gonna wanna do it. So the best time to get started is now. So if you're genuinely ready to change your life, make money online, and genuinely live the dream life that you want, and actually do it by Ghost Scaling, click the link in my description where you'll be able to join my free Discord. Like I said, it's completely free, where you can join my Discord, where I'll give a bunch of stuff like documents, more in-depth videos, there'll be a community, there'll be eventually weekly calls, all for free. And the biggest goal of that is to help you get that first client and actually know somewhat what you're doing throughout that fulfillment process. So if you're interested, click that link in the description, join, and just say what's up when you join. And on top of that, I will be posting hopefully at least one video a week, maybe one video every 2 weeks, and just give you as much value as possible so you can actually change your life. Because I remember how bad I wanted to change my life when I was in college and I hated my life. So other than that, I will see you soon.